That's it.
South Melbourne, the National League champions for the second time.
Peter, they could have had all the knocks in the world this afternoon. They'd be out there running around with broken legs now.
Ferenc Puskas has done it all in the game of soccer.
Since its establishment in 1959, South Melbourne up to 1998 had only once had a grand final victory in 1991 over Melbourne, Croatia. From 1992 to 1997, South Melbourne made the finals 5 times in 6 years.
Ken Warden comes over. The minor premiers beaten in a penalty shootout.
Counted the 3 Sydney United players.
And it comes from Morisic, diving in was a Sydney. It's in there! Sydney United break through! And Ante Milicic delivers!
After the 1996-97 1-0 loss to Sydney United, new coach Ange Postecoglou vowed to bring back the silverware to South Melbourne the following season.
Good turn there by Lozanovski. And the shot is a wicked one. What a goal from Goran Lozanovski. Welcome to the club, and what a way to celebrate his debut for South Melbourne.
Up to Damianos, who's on the march, who's got options left and right. And in the end, he goes for a shot. What a brilliant goal. Bill Damianos, well, that was the last thing on the mind of Joe DiGiulisio.
Beat 2 defenders.
Damianos spears it, far post down for Damianos. Pomopoulos.
South Melbourne was certainly the team to beat on 54 points at the top of the Ericsson Cup, and minor premiers ensuring the grand final would be in Melbourne. Their major semi-final opponents, Carlton, had finished second in their debut season.
A score for South Melbourne. Colosimo has to double back and lose his footing. Chance here for Anastasiadis. This time, yes. Well, Carlton made to pay a heavy price for defensive mistakes at the back. And John Anastasiadis has scored his second.
Over the 2 legs, South Melbourne emerged victors with a 3-1 aggregate and were in their first grand final in 7 years.
Goal. Great start for the home team.
Carlton went on to win the preliminary final against Marconi, so an all-Melbourne grand final was on.
The deadlock has been broken.
As the teams prepared to assemble for the national anthem, the refereeing team in the middle, as you can see.
Attack him early and get those crosses in. I'm sure the likes of John Anastasiadis would love it.
Tchaikovsky for Carlton. It's awkward for the goalkeeper. First touch for the 21-year-old, Michael Petkovic. Drops it awkwardly. But he's set such a standard for himself. Lahos swept away bravely. Anastasiadis and Trimboli, the only man up. Trimboli has to wait, waits again, now goes. The man wide left is Diamicis. Anastasiadis is there, can't quite ride the tackle. It'll spill for Diamicis. Topo, Anastasiadis against his brother. 8:30 in, and South Melbourne lead in the grand final. And you've got to credit the assist to Paul Trimboli for that one, because he had to wait and wait and wait and talk about to spare Robert Tchaikovsky. Well, he's got to get up and play another 80 minutes or so in the blue and white army. Got me in full voice. Lozanovski with the free kick. Launches a rocket! Well, that just went screaming in. Away, finally, by Atkinson. Desperation. Carlton have got the stunners. They're on the ropes. They're in trouble. Dean Anastasiadis, where were you? He's calling to his defenders, I need some help here, come on! Well, they are all over the place. Look at Lozanovski, vapor trails, whoosh!
The second one's the best save. Have a look at this, Greg. Paul Trimboli brings it down. Oh, just couldn't get it between the legs, and Carlton escaped. Could have been curtains.
Well, she came into the second half of the season on a burst. Andy Vlahos knocks it in the air. Markovsky was the intended receiver. difficult one. Markovski came in, kept the goalkeeper blindsided. Is it in? No, handball. Eugene Brazzali was on the spot before the ball roll over the line. But maybe that will encourage them just ever so slightly. The Carlton supporters are still celebrating. I think they might have got the indication now that they will be encouraged. They've managed to, had they have gone 2 down, Paul, which they very nearly did, it might have been curtains. They've played their way back into this. Whack by Bresciano! Well, how about this for grand final action?
Well, the reason this happened was because they didn't, or they conceded a corner, having not cleared it. When the corner did come in,
Clarkson is just chasing everything at the moment. There's no fear. David Clarkson, Slavinsky, and Vlahos. Here's Dimitris, gets it back, beautiful! Oh no! Well, they won't get a better chance than that. No, I lied, they had one earlier. But it has been all Carlton in the last 10 minutes, and have a look at this. This was beautiful by Vlahos to drag it back. Andy Vlahos, about a decade ago. Now they're here on grand final day. And what a grand final it is, Damianos. Oh, Savinsky won't reach it. That's got to be a goal. Oh, Anastasiadis saves from Anastasiadis. Oh, no brotherly love there. Dino picked that off. Second effort was extraordinary. He had to crawl at it and claw it away to safety. Where was the Carlton defence? What a heart-pounding game.
well, we saw the highlights before the game, and they were all of John Anastasiadis tapping in the back of the net like that. Oh, what a miss.
Got it, got it, got it, says Dino. Mark Atkinson. Colosimo getting forward, or does well to get around Lozanovsky. Colosimo to the line. Colosimo. And Simon Colosimo, who has climbed the stairs of greatness this year. Lepshansky has come into the game in withering bursts. Lubo Lepshansky, Marusic waits, shields the ball perfectly. The cross, Trajkovski, Bresciano back to goal. Sturgeopoulos first touch is a goal. Oh, we have got a ball game. Sturge, first touch in a grand final. It's all locked up. What drama here at Olympic Park. Absolutely exultant. Anastasiadis. Well, they wouldn't want to take the finger off the medal. Oh, gosh almighty! Almost an own goal. Lubo Lepshansky getting to Paul Trimboli's deft header. Oh, it's all happening again. Pass the heart tablets, put a chair under me. This is sensational. Look at that. Focus, Sturge, says Dino. That gold nearing, glittering in his left ear, Marcus Sturgeopoulos. Well, if he's a pirate, he's plundered the greatest treasure on the high seas, and that is an Ericsson Cup grand final goal when it counts the most. Corner to South Melbourne. Ticking in towards the last 10 minutes. Damianos hesitant. Lofter, goalkeeper, no! Oh, away by Markovski in the end.
So while they might not have the Lions' share of possession in midfield, they certainly are creating it with corners.
Corner, near post of Dean Anastasiadis. What a tremendous take under pressure. Clean and strong. And those great big mitts of his almost engulfed the footy on his way to the turf. Belts it into the sky. Dimitris chases it down. Foster Dimitris. He's found energy where he didn't think he had any. Trimboli on the turn. Trimboli the shot, and Dino takes it. Tried to finesse it home, little Tremors, and it wasn't going to happen against Dino. Goalkeeper of the year, surely, almost, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, Paul Trimboli, probably the worst facet of Paul Trimboli's game is his ability to shoot from distance. He can guide them in, but when it comes to power, and that's what he needed on that occasion, he just didn't have it.
Check of the time clock. We are about 2.5 minutes away. Delivery was not good. Trimboli for South Melbourne. 1.5 minutes left in regulation. Oh, Trimboli, what vision! The man through, Butsianis, no call! Score! Have you ever seen anything like this? Olympic Park lights up. And the relief of 7 long years. Clear to see on the faces of those supporters. 2-1 with a minute remaining.
And who was it creating all the havoc in midfield this time? But the maestro himself, Paul Trimboli. Referee didn't see anything wrong with Kombutsianis' challenge, although the Carlton supporters will be living this memory for a long, long time if they lose it. There's Paul Trimboli. Trimmers plays a beautiful ball. Now, did he interfere?
No.
Carlton supporters will say yes. South Melbourne will say no. Kombutsianis with the coolest of finishes. 2-1.
Well, we talked about the finesse of Paul Trimboli just a moment ago. But that weak shot, well, didn't he make up for it? What vision he showed then, just to dolly the pass gingerly into the path of that man, Kombutsianis, on the ground. 4 minutes, and he scores the go-ahead goal in the most engaging, engrossing grand final certainly ever here in Melbourne. The 7-year itch, 1984, 1991, and South Melbourne only a matter of seconds away from making it another. There's another look at the go-ahead goal. What a delightful touch. Sean Douglas, was he fouled? No, said the referee. Linesman kept his flag down, and Kombutsianis, within 4 minutes of coming into the game, may give South Melbourne its 3rd national championship. In a grand final, they will talk about Coveney with the steal. The Kiwi, Butsianis will ice the cake. And Butsianis and the South Melbourne supporters can take it on home. Injury time, Kombutsianis. But the victory cha-cha. Foster Diamici's 4th grand final. Great moments. Great moments. 3-1. Oh, it's been disallowed. The South Melbourne players were still celebrating. It's been disallowed, and the Carlton bench, the South Melbourne bench, well, it's pandemonium here because the South Melbourne players were being called back by their coaches. They thought they'd scored. I thought they'd scored. There's Angie Postecoglou shaking his head. He had to get off the bench and call to his players and tell them that the game was still going on. It's still 2-1. And we haven't had the chance to look at that again, but the goal was disallowed. Now Carlton can get an equaliser. Extraordinary. There you see it, 3:15 away. Of time added on. If Carlton score here, we're back to sudden death. Bresciano with the strike, and that was wide of the mark always. Thought they had scored, so it's still not safe. It's 2-1. Well, it is safe now, and the Ericsson Cup is going back to the Bob James Stadium after 7 long years, and Kombutsianis falls to his knees, as much in relief as delight. And 10, 12, 15,000 South Melbourne supporters. Well, heartbreak. Look at that. That tells a story. But South Melbourne have won their 3rd national championship. As the fireworks proclaim a famous victory in an epic grand final. Kombutsianis off the bench to score the winner. And Carlton, who worked and toiled and did everything that could be asked of them on such a grand stage, edged their way back into the contest, only to be denied, and that tells the tale of the heartbreak. In contrast, but they will be celebrating this victory probably for the next 7 years.
After 7 long years, South Melbourne was back at the pinnacle of Australian soccer. Scenes of jubilation carried on until the early hours of the morning at Bob James Stadium, with the Blue and White Army talking of back-to-back championships the following season.
Chaos, man. Yeah. Well, Paul Wade, who was a former South Melbourne hero, has been engulfed in this sea of celebrating humanity.
for a grandstand finish, and that's just what we got. Konbutsianis for the goal in the last minute of the game as we get set to present the medals to the winners, starting with Paul Trimboli, the skipper.
98 Ericsson Cup season, South Melbourne Soccer Club.